Morning. Yes, that's right. I'm tired. Tired. Yesterday I moved another dump trailer full of dirt at my daughter's. That was the fifth load, and we got one more to go at some point in time. I would like to get it down there this week while it doesn't rain, 'cause I think it's going to rain all next week again. And I have to get the dirt from the local quarry up here. That scrapes off the dirt from the top of a piece of ground before they dig. They can sell the dirt as well as sell the rock. Anyway, each of my trailers holds about a ton, 2,500, 2,600 pounds. For a single axle, that's pretty good. And I'm towing it with a half-ton pickup, so that's enough. But yeah, that was the fifth load. We got the sixth load to go, and I think we might be done hauling dirt down to her place and finishing up her landscaping project for this summer. Here's what we do, because the her house is right on an alley that borders a cornfield, and that cornfield, probably about 80 acres there, it's going to be the new high school. First thing it's going to be is an agronomy center. They're going to have a test plot there for whatever corn, soybean. And then after that, it's going to be turned into a sports complex, baseball fields and soccer and that kind of stuff. Might even have a football field there. I don't know. I think it's big enough. Anyway, they started work on that here. This will be the last year that there's a crop in there. And this next year, they're going to start work on the agronomy center. There'll be a crop there, but it just won't be a for-profit farmer crop. Anyway, there's an alley that runs up there at the back of my daughter's place, and there'll eventually be a street there, I'm sure. But so I can drive up that alley, but her yard is fenced in, has a chain link fence, so I can't drive or back in there with my trailer and dump, because I have a dump trailer. I can't dump the dirt. So what we have to do is take a couple of wheelbarrows and wheelbarrow dirt into the yard wherever it goes. And then, so I, as the old guy, sit out there and shovel dirt into a couple of different wheelbarrows while my daughter wheelbarrows it up to where it's got to go and rakes it around and does whatever. I do a few of those loads, but I can't walk real good on that uneven ground, so I don't try. I just sit there and load wheelbarrows. And I'm tell you what, man, that's enough. That's enough for me. That's enough. And then today, later on, I have to go out and stack more wood, thus the wood on the thumbnail, because I got a pile out in the shed. It looks just like that I have to stack. And then once that's done, my car trailer, which has cattle panels, 4-foot high cattle panels on all the way around, is going to go over to my brother's a couple miles away. And we're going to cut down some dead ash there. And I'm just going to haul my splitter over there at the same time. And we're just going to cut, split, load it onto my trailer, bring it home, and I can unload it right off the trailer and stack it. And I don't have to worry about it. You know what? Maybe I'll just put it on the dump trailer, make a couple different loads, and just dump it by the stove. I don't know yet. But anyway, hey, look what I got. I got a big box. Now, Meg forgot to send it to me, or she was too busy. Anyway, I texted her about it. She said, "Oh my God, I forgot. I'll send it right out to you." I said, "Don't worry about it, man. It'll get here. I just didn't want you to forget about me." And so she felt guilty. So you know what she did? The crazy lady UPS'd it next day air. Now, I don't know how much that cost, It's a 4-pound package, but I'm pretty sure that costs quite a little money. $1 million mag. You didn't have to do that. Understand? You didn't have to do that. I knew where it was. I knew you probably just forgot. You've been busy lately. I understand that. Life has to happen. So you didn't have to do that, but thank you very much. That was very, very nice of you. And I got a couple other packages. I got another one from Oregon. And then I got one that was missing from the Mama T's video. Bo Palmer. This one, it came from New York, but it was stuck in Chicago or Detroit or someplace for ages, for days, for a week or better. And it's not that big a package. Clearly marked, clearly address. So, I mean, clearly address, clearly marked. UPS ground advantage with tracking number and everything. So I don't know why it took so long, but it did. Anyway, we got those two to open. Then we're going to open Meg. So let's get to this. I've been, I went to bed at 12:30 last night after Steve Looking for Silver and B&B Pay Dirt live stream. And man, I slept until 11 o'clock this morning. I'm getting old, man. My back still hurts. And I was wearing my back brace too. I have to wear a back brace because I broke my back in a parachute jump back in early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. And I have a wedge-shaped compression fracture. You know how your vertebrae should look nice and rounded all the way around? Mine looks like this in the front. And it goes like this up to the back and down to the front like that. And when I was young, my muscles could make up for that weakness. As you get older, your muscles don't do that anymore. And the back has just been getting worse and worse. I've had my knee and my one ankle taken care of twice, and those are a little stronger. I got to do the other leg, but the knee and the ankle joint down there needs to be replaced. But I never had anything done with my back because I've ever seen people with back surgeries that had something done with their back have either lost mobility because they put steel rods in there or some other malady where they couldn't bend or it was always painful for them. So I never had anything done. And I had a female doctor at one time out in Illinois tell me, don't have anything done with your back, no surgery on it until you can't stand the pain anymore. Well, it's getting to that point where I can't stand the pain anymore, but I'm also getting old enough to where I don't recover from surgeries like I used to. So I don't know if I want to do anything with my back. It's kind of a conundrum. And yesterday, when I was unloading that dirt or when I was picking it up at the quarry or someplace, I got bit. You see that? All right there. I got bit on the arm and it itches like hell. I don't know what it is. I got to find the anti-itch cream. I can't find it. I have no clue. Hi, Lisa. How are you this morning, afternoon, morning yet, I guess. Hi, Sterner. John Jacobs is here. Where did I see JJ yesterday? Oh, was that Durbin's auction? Yeah, I did do Durbin's auction yesterday. I spent too much money there, I can tell you that. And BB is going to be real surprised this Tuesday when I don't buy anything because I spent all my money at Durbin's. But anyway, that's the way she goes a lot of times. Let's open this one from Bo Palmer, should we? I'm kind of waiting for freaking awesome to show up. But we'll get to it here. I'm gonna take the tape, the label, the tape. Oh, man, there. Okay, there we go. Now we're starting to get stuff going here. And all right. Let me turn the camera down here for a little bit so you can all see what I'm looking at. So you can all see what I'm looking at. You don't need to see my shorts that I got on. What do we got here? I got a bag. A velour bag. Did I? Oh, I know what I bought. I bought it. You know what I bought? I'm pretty sure I know what this is, but I'm going to look. I'm not going to say it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know what it is. I can feel it already. Come on. Oh, you know what this is, don't you? Yeah, somebody was selling a Durbin Bell. And I don't know if you guys know it, but I kind of collect Durbin Bells. Now, this is on Mama T's auction. Oh, we got a couple of $half or $3 half. No, $2 half, $1. I got to see if I can see what they are, though. And I didn't ever think I'd see it's a 1971 Ike on the bottom. And then the $2 half are and I can't tell unless I can look at a 1969 and a 1969. I can't really tell. I'm almost thinking they're Kennedys or Benjis, one or the other, but let's see. Oh, that one's pretty high pitch. Every bell is different. Every bell is different. I do like the handle on that one, though, with the eagle on. Well, that was worth waiting for. We're just going to have to bring my bells over here and show you once we get done opening stuff. That was worth waiting for. I forgot all about that. I had forgotten all about that. Let's open this one from Oregon Stacker. And it looks to me like we got to do this again, cut just a little corner, and go right down here like that. Look at that tape. Oregon. You're taping very well. Yep, I try. There we go. To reuse those envelopes over and over and over again. We got a couple in there. That's it for that one. If anybody really needs any bubble mailers, I got boxes and boxes and boxes full of them. So you don't have to buy any. I'll just send them to you. All right, what we got here? What does it say on it? Used bank. Congrats. 2 quarters, a half polar slab. No slab. Used bank. Oh, I used my bank. Congrats. Okay. I had a bank and I used that. Oregon Stacker. 1/2 polar slabs and 2 quarters. I don't know. Polar slabs in there. I don't know what's in here. I don't know. I thought, why continue to have that bank sitting there? Oh, shit. He sent some more candy. Damn. You know, I hate this candy. I'll put that right here, but I hate that candy. I just hate it. I think we can throw this one away, but that candy, I don't know what I got here. These are, what do you say, 2 quarters? I don't, why he packaged everything up individually, I don't know, but. Why? I don't know. What? Last grass. Yeah, the last grass is the operation, and I don't want to do that, JJ. Well, look at this. It's a 1958. Is it? It's a quarter, but I don't know what the hell a quarter is. It's a D, and I don't know what this one is. You don't. It must have come with the slab first. Because I know I got the slab. It's a Canadian polar bear, I'm pretty sure. And I got the polar bear coin, but I don't have the slab, so. Another D. That's a 1964. Okay, so we got 2 quarters. He must have thought I needed some constitutional. Okay, come on out of there, you. There we go. We are just about there. Some of you guys package so well. Some of you guys don't package worth of shit. So, I don't know. There it is. All right, coming out of there. There we go. Can you see the polar bear? 2018 polar bear is an MS69 NGC half-ounce polar bear. And that's probably why he sent the quarters, because he thought, oh, that half-ounce just wasn't worth it. But yeah, I'm happy to have the slab. I actually like the purple and blue label. See that little honeybee label up there? I like that. That's why I got it. Not that I collect labels or anything, but I do collect Canadian, and the honeybee label was just a bonus. So there you go. That makes what now? 20? Let me see. Oh God. Hold up a second. I gotta go over here. Hold up. I'll try and bring them all in one handful if I can. Nope, ain't gonna do it. I'll go get some more. Hold up. I'll go get some more. All right, that's my bells. This is the bells that are up on my my little display stand. My wife has two, and all three of my daughters have one, so there'd be 5 more that you're not seeing. Let's see. We have my miner bell, of course, with the gold pan, pick, shovel, and the bucket at the end of the chain or rope down there. My 2 coppers. We got my big copper and my copper with a 223 shell right there as a handle. That one is a big, hefty bell. That is a big, hefty bell. Okay, that's those 3. Then we'll go. This one is my Northwoods bell. You see the trees in the road going through it. And then we have, let's see. I think that's my Indige bell, my indigenous bell. Well, I think that one says, no, it's Indige, but I think that's got buffaloes. Then I have this is my Mexico bell. That has, come on, you guys can see it says Mexico on there. And that has Aztecs on there. Let's see, bigger bell, bigger handle. This one is just a nice looking floral pattern. And I forget all of the coins that are on them, but. And then we have, what do we got here? That's another Indige bell. And then this one is just a round handle. This one's the prettiest one, I think. That one's a pretty one. And then we got this one. Can't tell you what the coins are. I have to really study them to look. And then I got 3 small bells. And the one bell I don't have here is a bike bell. You know, it's got the little, that's a barber. And then we got a couple of angel bells. A couple little angel bells. That one's just a little. That one's got a nice sound to it. It really does. Okay, so then what do we got? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 20. That would be 20 bells. You are right. That would be 20. All right, let's get these out of the way. We'll put them over here with my Canadian spreadsheet. So yeah, I kind of collect Durbin bells. Why do I collect Durbin bells? Well, I don't know, really. I think that they have some very, very good craftsmanship in them. I think he does a wonderful job. Plus, he's just a neighbor to the north, so ever since I discovered them, I got to put that one bell back out there. Where'd it go? Here it is. That's what we got today so far. Ever since I discovered them, I've been buying them, and I don't get them all. You know, I try, but I don't get them all. Joe has a coin up there. He's supposed to be making me a ring, and he's still contemplating how he wants to do that, from what I understand. Yeah, you remember me fussing I didn't have a Durbin bell or when I didn't have a puck. And now I have a silver puck and a gold puck, and I got 20 bells. My, how time flies when we're having fun. The 30. See, when he said 3,600, he might have just misspoke. You know, some people get antsy when they're on video. A camera kind of messes with their head sometimes. So, yeah, I can see where a guy can make that mistake. But all right, for this next package, we're going to need a bigger tool. We're going to need a Angry Warrior package opening tool. I'm going to have to bring up my Angry Warrior knives here. Whoever his manufacturer, the guy that makes the blades for him, makes these knives. I got two of these. One with the rounded blade. I got one with the, the Japanese style tip. And then he's got the smaller ones. You see how big this one is? It's about that big. And I don't have big hands. Put it with my middle finger right there. About an inch and a half, 2 inches longer than my middle finger. And that's probably 4 inches. So maybe 6 inches total. He had two blades that were 2 inches smaller than that. They were probably this big with little 2-inch blades like that. And I got one of each style because I like the knives. The guy who made them did a good job. They're simple. They are one continual blade or one continual piece of steel all the way down through there. They're not high carbon like I like. They're stainless, and I can tell he puts them together. He doesn't actually forge the metal, but still pretty good job. And so I bought two of these and I bought two of the other little ones because, as you know, I collect knives also. If you watch any of my other videos, you know that I collect knives also. All right. Hey, freaking awesome is here. All right. $20 Durbin bells is correct, Lisa. 20 of them. All right. I'm going to put this on my lap, and we're just going to move this over here because that's about the only way I can do this. And I think I know what one of the items is in here, but I don't know why she did that. She was feeling guilty, I suppose. I don't know. I wouldn't I told her she didn't have to do that. I knew where the stuff was at. I was just reminding her that she might have forgot about me, but I know life gets in the way, man. You got to do what you got to do. All right, get you out of there. That's extra stuff. Yeah, you think that's not a sharp little knife? I'm telling you, that's a sharp little knife. All right. Here's what we're doing. So we're going to do this, Meg. Oh my God. Look at the packaging sheet. Ah. Yeah, for that. Oh my God. When I put this in the fire, it's going to go up like you wouldn't believe. Some more in the corner, so nothing would rattle. All right, we got that. And that's it. All the rest of that is packaging for good God almighty, you didn't have to do that. Where did you possibly get that much bubble wrap? Where did you possibly get that much bubble wrap, lady? All right, we're going to take this out of here. Oh, Lord. I know it's a plaque. This is the one that's going to get sent to my brother-in-law. He just got the coin that Steve Looking for Silver donated to him. This is the one that's going to my brother-in-law. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen this one or not. Oh, let me see if I can do this. We'll put this up here like this. We'll come back a little bit. It's a fallen soldier tribute, but you notice the coin up on top is raising the flag on Iwo Jima. And my brother-in-law is a Marine, so he's going to get this one. This plaque is going to him. The plaque that I got, that was the clock. That one went to my brother-in-law, or to my brother, whose daughter committed suicide. She was in the Navy, active duty, and her carrier was in dry dock getting refurbished and refitted. So it takes a couple years. Anyway, she wasn't at sea and in an abusive relationship, and she just decided that a permanent solution to a temporary problem was the answer. And so he got the clock and went into his bar downstairs by her little tribute table. And this one is going to go to my brother-in-law then. Nice. I was waiting for that one to send Gary, and then, yeah, and his name is Gary too. And that's going to go to him. All right, we'll put that right down there so I don't fuck that up. And then we got this little thing right here, and there's a card on it also. So we'll take that off, and I will read the card. It might be personal. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, you're gonna make me do stuff here. All right, let's see if I can move that over like that. We gotta tilt this thing. Yeah, I'm tilted way off. All right, we'll come down here. there. All right. And turn this around just like that. Yeah. All right. We can do that. Okay. Then I got one thing left and I don't know what it is. Other than, ooh. Hey. That one. There's some more stuff in there. I don't know what that. I don't remember what any of this stuff was. But that's a nice bubble mailer. You know what? If you guys want bubble mailers, I got bubble mailers. If you want them. All right, let's look here. First thing, what do we got? We got a item 461. Oh. Yeah. There, that's better. And this was donated by Jerry Parker and Stackhand. Okay, Gary and Gary. Double maple reverse Ram Privy. And I don't know if I have a Ram Privy, but there you go. Like that. Donated by Jerry Parker. I think I have a Ram Privy. I don't know. I'd have to look at my if that's a ram or a deer. I have to look a little closer. No, that's a ram. Reverse proof maples. Love them. Love them. Okay, and then I got a bar. The American Soldier bar. That's mine. And I just bought another one at Durbin's. It was the Infantryman. And that one's mine too. Let me see. Come on there, card. Uh-oh, what's that? Blazing Bullion card. Well, look at that. There you go. That one is donated by Stackhand. The fabulous Stackhand Silver. Okay, let's put that over there. All right. It's a colorized bar. It's a nice bar, too. Let's see if I can get it to focus. That's a really nice bar. I like that. That one is mine. And that comes from, look at that. Certificate of Authenticity, limited to, you guys tell me what you see. Limited to 149. Nice job. Nice job. I'll put that right there. And then this last one, I don't know what this is, but it's in this nice pink flowery. It's in a flowery kind of package. You see that? A little flower. I almost hate to cut that. Tape. There. I almost hate to cut that. So let's see if I can get that out of there without screwing that up too bad. I might save that. Give it to my wife because she likes that kind of stuff. Yeah, there. I'll just save that. My wife saves that kind of stuff, so there. Nice little flowery bag. I'll give that to my wife. Throw the rest of this crap away. All right, what does it say here? 1 ounce Memorial Day Mutiny medals donated by Coin Dude. Wow. And then, oh, nice. You guys don't know it. I make knives. I have anvils. I make anvils even. a railroad track. 2015 Mutiny Medals. What does that say at the bottom? Oh, come here, you. Don't go anyplace. Don't go anyplace, you. It says 2015 Mutiny Medal. R. Hand poured bullion. Okay. That one goes in my book for sure. For sure goes in my book. Yeah, we'll move you up here. We'll move you up here. We'll move you up there like that. Okay. I need more of that. There, like that. It is another one for me. And you notice that's a World War II Vietnam Korea helmet. That's the same helmet I wore. We did not have Kevlars back when I was in. Kevlars came after I got out. I have my helmet downstairs. And one day we're going to do a little video on our little mementos that we keep. Nice, man. Like that a lot. That goes right there with that. And then that'll go up on my stage along with a couple others. And I know you guys have seen them probably, but the Talons of Service and Sacrifice by Angry Warrior Tackle Box. That goes up, that's up on my stage too. And then this one, that's up on my stage. Merce Metals. That's a really nice pour. I don't care what anybody says. Both of those are really nice pours. I don't know. This was one of 4, I think. This is number 1. I couldn't get the prototype. That's number 1. I did get that one. And it does have WWP on it right there, 2025. Last year I couldn't touch one. This year I was going to get one no matter what. And I did. That almost means more to me than anything else. I think there was a prototype and there was 3 of these. That was it. So I think there was 4. That was all. You getting your 420 on, JJ? Well, good. I got to go out and stack wood later. I put wood into my... I had it all piled outside. It was split, big stack. So I take tractor and loader and load up. I think I loaded up 8.5 bucket loads and just put them in the shed, but I can't put it all the way back to where it's got to be. So I got to carry it for a little ways, just a little ways, and stack it. It doesn't just sit in there in a pile. It gets stacked. And maybe one day I will go out there and do a little video when I get it full, because I still got a whole bunch of oak to cut and split yet. And I'll get some of that done this fall yet, but I won't get it all done. And so there'll still be some out there for next spring. And I'm going to go get the 4 or 5 ash trees my brother wants taken down. So we'll get those done. And I got an ash tree over at my other brother's place. He's only got one over there he wants taken down. So we'll go over there, cut that one. That'd probably be a pickup load over there once we get it split. I might just bring it over here and split it. I'll cut it down over there, throw the logs in the cut up pieces in the pickup, bring them over here, split them, throw them in the shed quick. But yeah, he wants one done. It's on the edge of a cornfield, driveway into a cornfield. So it's got to wait until after the corn is out. They're not going back in the field before I do that. So I can't do that while there's a crop in the field. So, okay, up here to my ugly ass face again. That's what we got. For packages, that's not too bad. I went outside to go get the mail this morning, and the package from Meg was there. It was sitting right outside the door. I didn't even hear that guy come. That's how hard I was sleeping. So what does that tell you? What does that tell you about how hard I worked yesterday? That tells you a lot about how hard I worked yesterday. And I'll bring that camera down just a little bit. And we'll move it over this way just a little bit. And then that way you get a good shot of Mr. Tom Turkey, my World War II, Korea, Vietnam gun cabinet over there, which doesn't have a lot of guns in it, but it should have. There's only an M1 Garand, an 03A3, I think I got a Tommy gun. I got a M1 carbine. I don't have an M1A yet, or my M14. That one will be next, I think. But them bad boys are getting expensive. Yeah, there you are, upside down again. Yeah. I wonder, Muscle Shell, have you, what are you finding out about your property in LA? And are you going to stay in Montana, or are you going to move back, or what is the deal? I would like to know what's happening with you. I would like to know. Anybody see Muscle Shell here? Yeah, here he is, right there. We time warped into the afternoon. Yes, we did, didn't we? Dang. All right, I got to look. It's right here. See, I kept track of all of my notes from WWP. And when I unpack things, I keep all the cards so that when stuff comes, I just check it off. Because I know it takes a while for people to send stuff. And let's see here. We got 479. Where was 479? Everything from Monday had already come. So 479 was on Monday, I believe. No, was that Sunday? Ooh, man. No, that was Monday, Sunday, Saturday. Saturday was a day that I wasn't there much. I did manage to get some things in the afternoon, but Sunday didn't get much, and Monday was the day. 479, 460, 461, and 229. $229. Okay, got that one. 229. 479. Those two are there. 229. 479. 229, 479. Okay, those two are over there. 461 and 460. Where are they? Oh, man. Oh, man. They're down there someplace. I don't know. I saw them. Where? There it is. There's 460. Where is 461? Right there. Okay. Yeah. They were on Monday. 460. Yeah. 460. 461. I got to look for. Oh, yeah. There it is. That's, okay. Yeah, 460. 461. Yep, right there. Okay. We got everything. All right. Everything is done now. Everything is done. Very good. Let's see. Good. I can get rid of that stuff now. Or maybe I should keep that stuff because that will. I have to go through and add up and see what I gave this year. Because that'll go on my taxes. And then that'll just get I don't know. We'll compare this against to the receipts I got from the WWP and see if everything matches. Everything matches, then I can get rid of this, and the WWP receipts will go into the tax file. And that's the way that is. Okay, that can stay out of there now. I don't have to have that in a drawer. Okay, now you guys are going to see, and that was a good opening. Don't get me wrong, good package opening. But there is one package coming. Oh, man, you're going to love it. You are going to love it. Coming from Black Blockas, coming from Canada. When that one gets here, and that should be sometime next week, I would think. I think he just sent it. Let's see, what is today? Thursday, Wednesday. He probably sent it Tuesday or Wednesday. Wednesday, probably. Yeah, maybe today. I'll get it next week. But that's going to be. Uh-oh. Crowns. What crowns? Crowns where? Crowns. Just be cranky. Oh, hey, Cranky's here. Hey, buddy. What about crowns? I don't see anything about crown. Oh, those goddamn. I think. Let me see if I can go up there. Can I turn them off? I don't have anything on up there. Can I turn them off? I don't know. I got to go to the help center to turn it off. Okay, I got it. I got to go to the help center. I don't know where the hell that's at. I'll do it after this stream. But I will do that. I don't know. Maybe I can do that now. Can I do that now? I don't know. I'll wait until after because I don't want to fuck something up. I know how it's going to go. No, I was telling you about there's going to be a really good package coming from Black Blackas because I usually get a mailbag up there, and this will probably be the last package he sends for a while because of the tariffs and the whatever between the United States and Canada. What did he call it? I forget what he called it. I'll try and get rid of them. You know, you as a managing moderator, freaking awesome, you ought to be able to do it too. You have to go to the help center on my channel, and I think you can turn them off in there. But I think you can do it because you're the managing mod. And then that way I wouldn't screw something up while I'm doing live. But yes, and I have a 3 gram bag of pay dirt out there. So there's a full 3 grams of gold in it. And I don't know how many pounds that is, but I'm going to have to do several videos of panning that bag off. And I just sent a email to Kiwi to see if he got that bag of pay dirt that I sent him, because I got 2 bags of pay dirt from the same provider, from the same seller. He got one bag that's a different name than the bag I got. Both are supposed to have like a half a gram in, or a quarter gram. And we were going to do a pan off. So we were going to both go live on his channel and set up a date where we could do the live, and then we were going to pan. No sluicing, just panning to see who came closest or did the best panning, and then let the people in chat decide who the winner was. So I just sent him an email, see if he got his package. I think he got his package. I'm not sure. He hasn't contacted me, and asking him when he wants to do this thing. So I think it's going to be a good challenge. You know, in the panning community, a lot of times we'll send bags around and different people pan it out and see what they get, and then they pass it on to the next person, blah, blah, blah. And they do the challenge that way. But I've never seen anybody do a head-to-head competition where you're both panning different bags, both supposed to be a guaranteed quarter gram or a guaranteed half gram. And there's always going to be a little more in there. But let the chat rate the panners and the technique and whatever. So I think that'll be fun. We just got to get it set up. You volunteer to check the tailings, JJ? You know how many times I go through those tailings? I had a troubled one, pay dirt bag, and it was a guaranteed quarter gram or a 0.250. I went through 3 times. Tailings, I went through twice. I panned it first time, went through the tailings twice. I ended up with, it's a really small flour gold, man, the second and third time around. I ended up with 0.350. So a 0.1 gram difference. But going through the tailings, man, I recommend you go through those tailings 2 or 3 times. You did 3? 3? Usually 1 is good enough for me, 1 or 2, and then I am flying. So I still have some left in the freezer from, it's like a half a pint jar, so I got like a quarter of a pint left of homegrown stuff from Colorado. that my friend um, grew and gave me. She gave me the jar full when I came home from elk hunting, and that was in 2019. And I got a little left, but anyway, it was the next year. She crashed her car out there and she died. Just I don't know, man. I made a friend and I lost a friend all in the same year, and she was one hell of a cook, camp cook, man. Anyway, I got her obituary printed off of the line. Taylor Osborne was her name. Great lady. Great lady. Anyway, when I left Colorado, I gave her the hide off my elk because I wanted my hide back when I took it to the locker that had a butcher. You have to buy back your hide for Christ's sake. So I bought it back. It's not that much, $30 to buy your hide back. Plus have your elk processed. And I gave it to her because she liked to make possible bag. I told her I wanted a possible bag made out of it, and then she could have the rest of it for whatever she wanted. And she was going to make me a possible bag, and I guess never got to it. You know what a possible bag is? You carry everything possible for your muzzle loader in that bag. So, yeah. I don't know. Cranky isn't blue? Wait a minute. Hold up a second. You will be in a second. Now you are. Now y'all. Cranky, I don't know. I have a pair of moccasins from Dyer Moccasins out in Indiana. I bought them in the late 80s, early 90s. I've had them resold once. They're made out of cowhide. Really, really thick cowhide. They're guaranteed for life. I think I bought them for $125 back then. I'll bet they're over 300 now. Those are some damn good moccasins. Damn good moccasins. And when I was at the Fur Taker of America convention out in Spencer a couple weekends ago, there were only two people who recognized those moccasins. And one of them was Chris Pohl, the guy that was sharing our awning with us that I bought a knife from. He did a lot of reenactments, or does a lot of reenactments. And he said, when did you get your Dyers? Just out of the blue. He knew what they are just by looking at them. And then I walked down the line, and a guy had a couple of Newfoundlands hounds that went over and petted and played with. God damn, those are some big dogs. And he actually said, when did you get your Dyers? And those were the only two people out there at that whole convention that knew what those moccasins were. And I wear them around because I like to be flat-footed, especially with this this fused ankle, because I have such high arches, and now I have a fused ankle. I like to walk flat-footed on the earth if I can. So moccasins are a good way to do that, or my sandals, shoes with inserts in them and blah. And nah, it doesn't work. I tip off of the inserts because they're too high. They're too high. You know, even if they're only a quarter-inch high, my foot starts to slide off them, tip off them. So I like to be as flat as I can be on the earth. Now I have to wear shoes when I go out and I'm stacking wood or doing whatever, but it's just because I don't like to drop wood on my toes. So Boy Scout moccasins, yeah, those are okay, but that's a really soft thin leather. These dyers are really thick. I mean, a 1/4 inch thick on the bottom. And I've had those bottoms replaced one time. And the reason I bought them, because I was still in the 12th Special Forces group. And when we would go, my captain, my team captain also had them. And the reason we wore those moccasins was because when we went and did patrols, or when we were going to do sneaking peeks, we would wear the moccasins because then we could feel the sticks and stuff on the ground, the rocks and whatever. You can feel those with your feet before you step on them and make any noise. And that's why we had them, was for patrols. And Chris Pohl, the guy that was that recognized the moccasin, is a former Marine. And when I told him that, he said, "Oh, that makes sense." Like, yeah. So it does. It makes a lot of sense if you think about it. Especially when, if you don't walk like an American or a white person, you walk like an indigenous person. You walk toes first, then heel, toes first, then heel, toes first, then heel. That way your toes are always feeling stuff. You're always feeling stuff with your toes. And that's the way people should actually hunt deer or hunt elk, hunt moose, hunt bear. You should be walking toes first so you don't make any noise. Take your time. Stop, look, listen. Although I can't hear it anymore. When I do have my hearing aids in, I can hear. But, take 5 steps, 5 seconds, take 5 steps, and rest for 15, 20, half a minute. And just look around and listen. Take 5 more steps. Stop, look, listen. But people don't hunt that way anymore. So if you bow hunt, you probably understand that stopping because you're sitting in a tree, looking and listening because that's all that you can do while you're in the tree. And you don't move your head fast. You don't move your hands fast. Moving your head from side to side is not that much movement. When you move your hand, this is a lot of movement. Or put your hand on a bow or gun or whatever. That's a lot of movement. That is a big warning sign right there. Because what do animals look for when they're in the woods feeding? Prey animals, of course. They feed for 2 seconds, their heads up. They look around, back down, feed for 2 seconds, up, look around. They're looking for danger. They're looking for movement. They're looking for anything out of place. It lets them know that a predator is there. And anybody who hunts those animals should follow their example. It'll make you a hell of a lot better hunter. And then you'll slow down and maybe enjoy the outdoors just a little more, instead of like most white people just, well, I gotta go for a walk. So you go for a walk through the woods, down a trail, big deal. When I was still mobile, still had a foot that worked and knees that worked, I liked to run. I ran and ran and ran. I played basketball in high school until I got kicked out of basketball for smoking and drinking and being a dumbass. And then never went back. But I like to play basketball. I played intramural with my work team up at Glenview. And we played the Marines. We played the Coast Guard. Everybody on base that had a team. And I like to run. I ran a lot. I had to keep myself in shape because I was in the 12th group and on a team and became a team sergeant finally. But had to keep yourself in shape for that. So I went out and I rucksacked I'd put 60 pounds in a rucksack and go out and run with a rucksack on for a few miles. Or I would just go out and run, period. I would do 15 miles a day. I love to run. Why? Because no distractions. And what I did, I ran out and ran power lines. I'd run power line right away. I didn't like running on streets so much. There's always a chance of getting hit by a car or whatever. So I would go out and run power lines through the woods. And you go up for 7-8 miles, turn around, come back. Just, you're outside. You're out breathing air. There's no noise because you're away from traffic. You're away from town. You're away from whatever. You're away from the streets. You're away from people. And you could go out and forget all the problems that you had, the bills, the checkbook, the kids, the cars, whatever, and just go out and forget all that and concentrate on your breathing and concentrate on your gait, your speed. And if I could make it, if I kept going this hard or if I had to slow down or whatever, that was best. And now I can't do that. So the only thing I can do, and we moved back to the farm here. And like I say, the woods is just, I got 80 acres of woods and a river running through it down here. So I can go down the woods and just sit. Just sit on a stump and just sit there. I got a lane that runs out there so I can drive down there, drive down to the woods. I can go out and pan for some gold, classify some material, walk up and down a creek, just looking for places. Because I got a little creek that flows from the north that starts about 2-3 miles over there, middle of a field, and that creek gets bigger and bigger and bigger and flows into the river right down here on this property. My father-in-law still owns this property. He has 160 acres here. There's 80 of it that's farmable, and that is there's 40 on one side, 40 on this side of the river, and my wife's brother-in-law, he farms it with his son, and I get to run in the woods, and I go down and get firewood whenever I want it and look for mushrooms and go fishing or whatever. And I can go down there and dig for gold. So that's what I do. Big red bugs. Yeah, that's exactly right. Sitting in the couch. And I do a little sitting here in front of the computer at night or whatever, but most time during the day, and I'm kind of recuperating from yesterday right now, but during the day, I like to go out and at least do some work. Yeah, I'm 69. 70 years old next year. I'm starting to slow down. Yeah, think a little bit. Anyway, yeah, I still like to go outside and get some work done. I got all the wood in that pasture, and I showed you guys pictures of that in my thumbnails or on one of my short posts before. I had a whole pile of wood out there in that pasture. I got that all cleaned up, all cleaned up. I'm going to plant some of that wildflowers this next spring. And because it was a pasture. I had fence around it. We had animals in it for a while. And now most of the fence is down. We pulled all the fence posts except for the corner posts. And that's just in case we ever want to put up a fence again. I don't have to dig holes. But my wife has started planting trees to replace the growth because we started taking out the honeysuckle that was in there and planting new trees because some of the other trees, the pine trees are dying. And we needed a snow fence, so I planted berries. What kind of berries? I got to plant some other berries. High bush cranberries I want to plant. What else I put? 9-pin I put in there, but they grew too tall, so now I got to put like high bush cranberries in there. And I'd like to make it not only as a snow fence for us, but I'd like to feed the wildlife too. So cranberries will work pretty good. I got some hazelnuts planted out here. They don't seem to want to come too good because the goddamn deer keep eating them off. They're about this tall now. But it's been 8 years since I planted the damn things. The deer just keep eating them. It's hard to keep the deer away from the damn things. I did that with red oaks too, and they just chew them. I don't know what it is about the taste of those red oaks, but they just eat them right to the ground. I don't know. And that's why I kill deer. I hunt deer because they are tasty and they are nothing but big rabbits. Rabbits, we have to have a 5-foot high fence and chicken wire around it so the rabbits don't get in there. But that's what deer are. They're nothing but big fucking rabbits. Why not? Why should I not burn hazelnut wood? Tell me why. Hey, Wolford Pedro, cheers, buddy. Break time, huh? Ah, cool. Do I have to come down the chimney though? I do have a Santa suit, Santa hat. I don't have to put on a fake beard now, but I got a Santa suit. Oh, buddy, you are. Oh, okay. Well, see, it doesn't make any difference because I have an outside wood burner, hydroponic wood burner. So the burn chamber heats up the water that's around it, and that gets pumped into the house through a radiator in my furnace and also for my hot water heater. So I don't care if it pops. It's a nice, hot, burning wood. So yeah, it's like black locust. Black locust burns really good. Nice hardwood. Osage orange, also a nice hardwood, or they call it hedge. It's got those big green hedge balls on it that they say. My mother used to believe that it repelled spiders, so she would put them in the basement. I don't know if they ever did or not, but that's good wildlife food also. And it's a really strong, sinuous wood that a lot of long guys that make longbows, not recurs. Well, I could use it in recurs too, but longbows basically um, because it's such a strong, fibrous, strong wood. Osage orange, black locust. This honey locust is what we're getting out of our grow because it's so invasive, just so invasive. I don't like the shit. It has red berries on it, and the birds come and eat those red berries, and they go down in the woods and they shit, and they spread that seed all over, and now you got fucking locusts everywhere in the woods. It's just, and you can't get rid of it. It has a root system that goes everywhere, and one will pop up here, and then another one will pop up over there, and you got to keep cutting them off. It's just, and the only way to get rid of it is with 2,4-D. It's just, God, I hate that stuff. I would rather have a native locust like black locust. They said if you have 5 acres of black locust, 5 acres of mature black locust, you will never ever run out of firewood. You can burn firewood all your life and you'll never run out of it. That's how fast it grows. But black locust, if you know anything about locust, has those very large spikes, spines on them that if you've ever tried to get through the woods with those in or brushed up against one, you find yourself impaled with needles, big, thick needles, like sewing needles. They're even thicker than those things. But yeah. Oh, evil Santa. I could do that. I could play an evil Santa. How about a Santa with face paint? I'm starting to think now with a big rubber knife in my bag. I just pull it out like this. Ah! I could do it. I'd have to work on my war cry. Like like Ermy in a Full Metal Jacket. Let me hear your war cry. What? Your war cry. Ah! Yeah, I could do that. Yeah, I could do that. Then I'd have to bring him presents because then I'd have to tone it down. Say, no, I'm not an evil Santa. I'm really a good Santa. And I'd have to bring stuff out. Okay. I'm thinking. I'm thinking. I'm thinking. But if I came up there like next weekend or something, then your kids would know what I look like. So I don't know about that. I'm thinking now. See you, Cranky. You gonna do a stream soon? Okay, good. What are we at? I'm at an hour and 22 minutes. I'll probably go an hour and a half, and then that'll be it. We're not thinking. I don't have a whole hell of a lot to talk about anymore, so yeah, we'll send him over there. How about that? Well, I've heard of people doing that with their pets. Roy Rogers did that with his horse. I'm sure that I don't know what the laws are regarding a corpse, a human corpse, but I'm sure you could find a taxidermist that would do it. We'll send him over there anyway, Cranky. If freaking awesome can figure out how to pin your channel in the chat, freaking awesome's got to do that. I don't know how. That's why he's a managing mod, because he knows how to do that stuff. Yeah, and they could actually paint you up or dress you up in different costumes for Halloween, Christmas. Yeah, that would work. I'd like to know what the laws are regarding that. I'm gonna have to Google that. That'd be kind of funny though, and it puts you on like a little four-wheel dolly, so all I have to do is just roll you around. No, I told my wife when I die, and I got to write this down. When I die, I'm going to be cremated. That's already paid for. That's done. Eastern Iowa Cremation Society is taking care of that, and the death certificate and transportation. That's all paid for. All right, but you're going to get the ashes in an urn. Okay, what are you going to do with them ashes? Well, you're not going to put them in a cemetery, and you're not going to put them on the mantle or on the piano or on the piano. You're not going to do that. What you're going to do is you're going to go get a, I don't know, 2 or 3 foot tall chestnut tree, American chestnut tree, and you're going to plant my ashes, or you're going to plant that tree in my ashes in a hole in the ground where that tree can grow for 100 years without the possibility of being cut down. That's what I want. Could be in a national park, could be in a state park, it could be in a city park. I don't trust city park, but and then the plaque I get from the VA could go on the ground right beside the tree or whatever. I don't care about that. Or my wife could keep it, or my family could keep the plaque. I don't care. But that's what I want. Oh, hold up, Silver Spurs. I got to get you turned blue. Okay, you're now blue. So go to everybody else and subscribe to their channel. That's why I do that. So everybody else can get subscribed to. Yeah, plant my trees, or plant a tree in my ashes, in a place where it won't be cut down for 100 years, and I'll be happy. A friend of ours did that, George, a fellow skydiver. He was cremated. His wife had him cremated, and he put his ashes in little bottles like this, 2-inch bottles, and he put a little. She put a little sticker on it that said "Peace of George," and she gave those out to everybody, so everybody could have a little piece of George in their life. And I thought that was so cool. Anyway, as the years went by, she had several of those bottles left over, and she gave me them. And what I did with George was I emptied his ashes into separate holes, and I planted hazelnuts that the deer keep eating off in George's ashes. So I got a little piece of George in every one of my hazelnut trees out here. I don't know. I thought it was appropriate at the time, but all right, guys, we're at 1:27. We're gonna do 3 more minutes. 3, count them, 3 more minutes, and then I'm gonna end this and put some pants on and go outside and stack wood. Not that I really want to, but I have to, because we're gonna have to put more wood in there yet. Anyway, I don't have the shed full yet. The shed's got to get full. And once I get the one side done, burnt this winter, because there was an old tractor back in the corner of the shed that my brother-in-law, or my wife's brother, wanted to rebuild. And he just never got to it, and the parts all sat there. And my father-in-law had started taking it apart, but I needed that space in that shed, so I moved it over, put everything on a pallet back there. Well, when he was diagnosed with lung cancer, and he's still up and around and moving, and he's still feeling good. But my wife, her sister, his sister, her sister's husband, brother-in-law, they got that tractor out of the shed from behind my wood pile. So they had to take the tin off the side of the building and get it out of there. Took it and had the thing rebuilt and repainted, and it runs. It's sitting over in his sister, or my wife's sister-in-law's husband's shed. And I got to see it. Beautiful tractor. I should go over and I'll do a video of that. I should do a video. I should have done a video of when it was sitting there rusty on a pile in the corner of the shed on a pallet. and then show you what it looks like now. Beautiful, beautiful tractor. It's a Case B or an A. It's an old two-popper, two-cylinder, but man, is that a nice tractor. I would like somebody to do that with my Oliver 770 because it was made in the 60s or 50s, 60s. It's still, no, it had to be the 50s or real early 60s because it still has the rounded fenders on the back wheels. The later ones had the squared off fenders on the back wheel. So I'd have to look at the serial number, but I think it was 61, might have been. I have to look. But yeah, I still use the tractor. Me and my stepdad, we overhauled it and did everything to it. Adjusted clutch, adjusted brakes, did everything to it. And I put new tires on it. It's the only thing I put new on it so far. But I'd like to see that one rebuilt too. I don't know. I'm not going to do it. Well, it is a nice turkey. It wasn't the biggest one. I think it was only a 21 or 22 pound tom, and he wasn't the dominant tom that came in. That one got shot by my buddy, but I shot this one because it was the one that presented itself to me. He got the other one flying, and I was doing the calling. But this one, I thought at first only had 2 beards, but then it got to looking. Now it's got 3 beards. And we hauled it around to different bars showing people 3-bearded turkey. But once I got it to the taxidermist and we started looking at the roots, there are 5 beards on that turkey. 2 of them are pretty small, but there are 5 beards on that turkey. And if you measure all the beards together, there's over 3 foot, a yard of beards on that thing. You see 10, yeah, there's over 3 foot of beards on there, or about 3 foot. Now the spurs are only an inch long. Not an old bird at all. He's probably a 4 or 5 year old bird. That's maybe a 4-year-old bird. That's about it. But it is in the National Wild Turkey Federation's record book. I think it was like 126th largest non-typical turkey taken in the United States, and that gets supplanted every year, so it keeps moving back. But that turkey, and if you will look up here on the wall, there is the letter from the National Wild Turkey Federation, and I had a plaque made where we shot it and who was with me. There were 2 other guys with me, and we shot it down in, I think it was Keokuk County, along the Skunk River. Along the Skunk River. So, and it was Jordan Heck and Sean Hafley were with me. Jordan Heck, he had a shotgun, I had a shotgun, and Sean had a bow. And he was just about ready to shoot when Jordan, never turkey hunted, never shot one in his life, jumped the gun and shot. Then I shot. Jordan had missed. The other turkey took off flying. I said, shoot, shoot, and he shot it out of the air. So we got the 2 birds, but man, that I watched them come through the woods. When I was calling, I watched them come through the woods. You can see those heads bobbing. And it was just fun because they came from like 200 yards away and just came up and around that open field, and then finally stepped out into the open field where I had the decoys, and that's where we got them. But Sean was right behind a wood pile, and he was at full draw, and he was just waiting for that turkey to turn and present his asshole, and he was going to shoot. And Jordan shot and fucked that all up for him. So Sean would have got one with the bow. If he hadn't missed, if his aim would have been on, he would have got one with his bow. But Jordan fucked that up for him. So it was funny though. We had fun. We had fun, and it was just by accident that I got a 5 bearded turkey. I've shot 2 bearded turkeys before, and not a big deal. But a 5 bearded turkey, that's a big deal. So he was going. I thought it was a 3 bearder, so he was going to the taxidermist anyway. But yep, and I got another one hanging up in the other room, and I'll show you that one. Maybe I can show you that one now. I don't know. Let's get this moved out of the way here. I think my cord's long enough. I don't know if you can see her because I can't see my screen, but it's a bearded hen. And I hope you can see her because I couldn't see my screen. But she's got a 6 or 7 inch beard on her. And I had never shot a bearded hen before, so she went in the record book too. But National Wild Turkey Federation, we got bearded hens. So she went in the Iowa record book, but that was it. I hope you can see her. Yeah, the fox population went down because the coyotes moved in. The red fox population used to be real big around here in the Midwest because you know they would dig their dens out on this nice side sandy hills and stuff out in farm country, open ground. But when the coyotes moved in and the coyotes started digging them out of the dens, and they'll kill fox because coyotes and fox compete for the same food, compete for the same denning areas, compete for everything. So the coyotes will kill the fox. And the coyotes brought mange with them. Mange. And the mange killed off a lot of fox too for a couple years. And then the population started to rebound. But then the fox population actually adapted its where they hunt and for food and where they dig their dens. Now the fox you'll see will dig dens in real rocky places along road bridges or bridge abutments and stuff that coyotes can't get into, can't dig them out of. And the fox population has started to rebound around here because they've started to adapt to the coyotes being here. But for a few years there, I mean, like about 10 years, the fox population went way downhill because the coyotes were killing them off and because of mange. Well, what happened was people started hunting the coyotes hard, trapping the coyotes hard. And the mange stayed in the coyote population. And that killed a lot of them off too. And the fox have rebounded because they're not commingling with the coyote population anymore. So they shook off the mange and starting to rebound, and especially where they're denning, that's a big thing. So the one thing that bothers me is the gray fox population around here is that because of so much large farming activity where they've taken out a lot of the wooded fence rows, a lot of trees, like little 5 acre, 3 acre plots of trees where a house once used to stand, and there was still like a well there, and there was still electricity going in there, but that's all that's there anymore. A lot of that stuff has just been farmed over now, and the trees along the river, they keep shrinking. Nobody plants trees anymore. And Big Ag has taken over. They want every square inch of ground that they can get, yet they give up a lot of farm ground to these fucking windmills and access roads to the windmills. It just makes no sense. Large ag makes no sense to me. And large ag, and I'm going to piss off a lot of people in Iowa and Minnesota and wherever, I don't care. Large ag is and the Iowa Farm Bureau, and Farm Bureau in particular, are the reason for a lot of our water quality problems, for our habitat for wildlife shrinking, for no access to hunting. It's just, it's farmers and large agriculture. Farm Bureau are the source of a lot of the fucking problems in this state and a lot of states in the Midwest. But yet, Iowa Farm Bureau, who is the largest fucking people who monitor or what's the word I'm looking for? Congress, state legislature, and get laws passed or not passed that would regulate them for the good of the people, but only for the good of big ag and their profits. So fuck large ag. Fuck Monsanto, fuck all the chemical manufacturers, fuck the Iowa Farm Bureau, fuck large farmers don't give a shit about wildlife and the environment. Fuck them all. And that's why this stream is not safe for children. Yeah, 2-shot will bounce off turkey wings. Depends how far away you're shooting them. If you're trying to shoot them at 50, 60 yards, yeah, it'll bounce off. That's why I use a specified turkey load or a coyote load for turkeys. And I use a 3.5-inch 12. I need a little bit more range sometimes. Yeah, isn't it amazing, Pedro, that back 20 years ago, we didn't have any turkeys here. And then transplanted a lot of turkeys from Arkansas, Tennessee, and down south for I don't know what we traded them. Traded them for something, deer or something, I don't know. But now turkeys are such a fucking nuisance that they'll go right behind a planter next day and they'll scratch out seed and eat rows and rows of soybeans. So, yeah, turkeys are now a nuisance. Or like when we transplanted otter. I remember when we did that. And now we have an otter trapping season. I think you can still only take 3, and you still have to get tags, but the DNR officers don't even care about collecting data anymore. I've seen them where you put them in the freezer. You catch them one day, you put them in the freezer because the DNR officer got to come out and look at them sometime. And he'll come out and take them out of the freezer and he'll look at them and, okay, here's your tag. It used to be a fucking DNR officer had to come down and actually see it in the trap where you caught it, blah, blah, blah. And then do the aging, teething, all of the data that they collect on them. Now they don't even care. And pretty soon it's going to be 5 otters. And pretty soon it's going to be unlimited amount because the fucking things have cleaned out the rivers. It used to be otters will eat all fish, not just the good fish. They'll eat rough fish too. No, they eat rough fish when they don't have any other fish to eat. They'll clean out the good tasting fish first. Like all the fucking smallmouth bass that used to be in this river. I could go down here and catch 21, 22-inch smallmouth bass out of this little river. And now you'd be lucky to catch one at 12 inches. Because the otters have cleaned them the fuck out. They will clean out a trump hatchery or a trout hatchery or a trout stream before they'll ever touch a carp. So don't tell me that otters will eat everything. They won't if they have a choice. How about bobcats? We've had bobcats here ever since I was a kid. I remember walking through the woods coon hunting, and the hair on the back of your neck would stand up because something's watching you. Something's following you. You turn around with a flashlight, you don't see shit, but then you hear the scream. And if you've ever heard a bobcat scream before, it's like somebody is killing a baby with a fucking knife. Anyway, they've always been here. I could take you down to the river on this big sandbar that's down here, and I can show you cat tracks in the fucking sand because I know where they walk. They've always been here. And then, several years ago, one was caught just a mile up the river on Jerry Hoffman's place up there, where we used to go fishing. I used to trap that part of the river, actually, when I was back in high school. And whoever was trapping up there caught a bobcat. And that was big news around here. Why is it big news? There's always been bobcats here, just not that many. You don't see them. It's just like most people don't see weasels. I go out and catch a dozen weasels every fucking winter. You don't see them in the wild unless you're sitting out there hours on end, days on end, just observing wildlife. Then you might see a weasel. Then you might see a mink. But, yeah. And so we started with bobcats in the southern 2 tiers of counties down there. You could trap bobcats. You could get one, you had to have a tag and blah, blah, blah. And now it's up the western part of the state. They've added more counties over there, the southwest up through the west. And eventually it'll get up here. It's like Illinois. When I lived out there, you couldn't trap badgers. Why not? Because that's Wisconsin's state animal. Well, why can't you trap badgers? Well, we've never done a survey. We don't know how many are here. They finally fucking did a survey and found out they got badgers every goddamn where. So now you can trap badgers in Illinois. Why can't you trap them in Wisconsin? Because it's a state animal. So what? So what? Yeah, wait till you get a badger in a fucking 80-acre hayfield and see if you don't want it gone. It will do thousands of dollars worth of damage to the hay and to the equipment that gets broke going through them holes. But anyway, I digress. But that's what this channel is about. Talking about shit. Shit that bothers me. So, whatever. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Now we are at 1 hour and 3/4. We are going to have to quit. We are going to have to quit. You got a bobcat in your neighborhood, JJ? Yeah, it's been crapping by your chicken coop. Does it actively try and cover it up a little bit? If it doesn't, then it's probably not a bobcat. Because a bobcat, just like your house cat, it will try and cover up its piles. A cat is a cat is a cat is a cat. They have the same habits. A lion, a tiger, jaguar, panther, cougar, bobcat, lynx, they're all cats. They all have cat-like qualities. They all do cat-like things. So, yeah. And if it is a bobcat, it's been crapping by your chicken coop, how many chickens are you missing? Man, oh man. I used to have ducks and geese here around my place. I would raise them in a round wire corn crib. You guys from the Midwest know what a round wire corn crib is. Or used to air dry field corn on the cob. Used to pick corn, put them in the crib, and then they would air dry, and then you'd have to go through with a sheller. You would shell the corn, and then you would grind it for feed. Okay. I would raise ducks and geese in an old round wire corn crib so nothing could get in there and get them. And then when they got big enough, I would let them out in the yard. It wouldn't be a month and they were all fucking gone. And that means coyotes and foxes. I never saw a bobcat, but I know the coyotes are around here. I've seen them running through the woods, deer hunting. And I know the fox are here because I've caught them. But I could never leave anything out at night, ducks and geese, because they sit on the ground and nest on the ground. Chickens, on the other hand, would go back in the coop, and I could lock them up. Quail will go back in the coop. I can lock them up. My peacocks I would let out roaming, but they always roosted up high in the rafters in my shed. Except when they were nesting, then they would go out in the grove, lay eggs, and sit on the nest. That's where I lost them, is when they were nesting. But I quit raising peacocks when I lost all my hens, and I finally had the male left, and he got lonely, and he decided he wanted to go places, and I had to go catch him and bring him back. And you could keep him in a cage. I had him in a big pen, but I finally sold him. I think I got rid of him. And then I started raising dogs. And then I had the chickens in where the peacocks were at. Then I moved a building up here and made a enclosure overhead and outside that they could run in and out there. And then finally that chicken shed turned into my honey house for my bees. And now I quit raising bees and the honey house is cleaned out. So now it's an empty shed again. So I got to think of something to put in there. And I think I'm going to raise some quail. I think I want to get some quail and raise some quail. Why not? When the farmers took out all the fence rows, all the wooded fence rows and that's where the quail used to be, in the wooded fence rows. And now all of them are gone, the quail are gone. We have very few gray partridge left. We have very, very few ringneck pheasants left. Why? Because the CRP all went away. The Conservation Reserve Program, where the government used to pay farmers to plant grass or have wild prairie grasses grow and flowers grow in questionably farmable land. And farmers started to take advantage of that. But those programs, those contracts only last for, I think, max of 20 years. And every 5 years, you have to go in and renew those contracts. I think 4 times, that's it. Then it has to come out and get refarmed again. But that CRP went away. So what I'm trying to say is habitat shrunk. So therefore, the numbers shrink. It happened with quail. It happened with partridge. It happened with pheasants. It's happening with gray fox. So, and it'll happen with red fox again too, because of where they've adapted to live in the woods, in the ground, in rocky terrain where coyotes can't dig them out. Coyotes, they live anywhere, and they don't care. But yeah, I mean, somebody had game camera footage, a video of a bobcat up by their porch down here in Cedar Rapids or Cedar Falls, one of them. And that's only an hour away, hour and a half. So, yeah, it's not a big deal, but the DNR has to have conclusive proof. And so you got to have video, you got to have pictures, you got to have a dead carcass, you have to have one in a trap for conclusive proof. Can't take anybody's word for it that, hey, I saw one, hey, I heard one, hey, there's a track. No, that's not conclusive proof. The DNR in this state is such a fucking pile of shit. As far as, here's what happened. The DNR got rolled up into I'm going to say the Conservation Commission got rolled up into the DNR. This big behemoth agency within within the Iowa government. That includes all the environmental. That includes all the wildlife. That includes the fish, the fur, the birds. That includes everything. All of the federally protected and regulated species, the migratory stuff. Everything got rolled up into that one big agency called the DNR. And the DNR has no accountability to anyone, to no one. No accountability there whatsoever. How do I know that? Because I got fucking hammered by the DNR for any legal take of a buck deer. So, yeah, and it cost me, I don't know, it cost me my gun. It cost me $4,000, $4,500 in fines, which I'm still paying off. And I can't hunt, trap, or fish for until the fine is paid off. I told them, fuck you, you're getting $100 a month until it's paid off. And you're not getting it anytime any sooner. And when I go to the courthouse and pay my $100 a month, I make them print me off a fucking receipt. I get those fat ass fucking women out of their fucking chair to go to the goddamn printer and get me a receipt, bring it to the window, and give it to me. I hate it when I go to to this window and it's bulletproof glass with a little hole in it with another little bulletproof piece of glass and a little fucking, where you can slide paper back and forth underneath of it. The fucking woman sitting 20 yards from me, a big fat ass, she sits in that chair and she yells at you. How much? For what? Do you want a receipt? What's your check number? And then she'll go to the printer and bring the receipt over, take my check, and give me the receipt. You know what? There needs to be a change at the county courthouse. There needs to be a change at the Iowa DNR. There needs to be an oversight commission. Sorry, just needs to be. And it needs to be staffed by civilians, not government employees, not career employees. No Wolverines down here. You got fucking Wolverines up by where you live? Jesus Christ. I thought those were fucking northern Minnesota, Canada, Alaska. I didn't think they were that far down. Holy shit. Yeah. Well, down in Texas, yeah, you will see bobcats, probably more so than you would see them up here, but oh yeah, I got groundhogs under my wood pile out there. That's why my wife had to put up, along with the rabbits and the deer, the fencing around her garden because the woodchucks will go in there and eat too. If I see a woodchuck, I kill it. But my dog, when I had Ridgway, who's been dead now for a couple of years, because the fucking mailman hit him. He used to kill woodchucks. God, I love that dog. Great terrier. He would kill coon. He would kill woodchucks. He killed squirrels. He killed rabbits. He killed them all, man. Yeah, I don't think I'd want my dog tackling a wolverine. Them are the fuckers that they don't give a shit. They're like honey badgers. They just don't give a shit. And I've read stories. I don't know people personally, but I've read stories where Wolverine will track a human along through his trap line in the North Country and will kill and destroy everything that's in his traps, and will just continue to do that, causing him so much monetary damage that he has to stop trapping anything else and trap that wolverine or kill that wolverine so he can go back to fur trapping. So, well, that'll teach you. Keep that 9 or that 45 on your side all the time. I try to keep a 9 on my side all the time. We do have this one in the drawer here, and the one by my bed, and the one in my truck, and the one out in the mudroom, and then the ones down in the shed. So I try and keep one close at hand all the time, if I can. There's always one in the truck. I don't care where I'm going or what I'm doing. There's always one in the truck. If I go in the courthouse, I can't carry, so I leave it in the truck until I come out. But you don't go through a metal detector, so if they don't know you don't have it on, they don't know. So I have gone in the courthouse with one strapped on me, and nobody knows it, nobody cares, and that's why I a lot of times don't agree with open carry, but I can see the deterrence, but I can see how it makes some people afraid also. So I think I'll just keep mine strapped to my side and under my shirt or under my coat, or like this little one here in my pocket, and nobody will know it's there. Yeah, when I'm playing dress up and I don't have a jacket on or a coat or I have a tucked in shirt, I will carry that little Ruger LCP in my pocket, and nobody knows it's there. Granted, it's a 380, but I'd rather have that than nothing. I'd rather have a 22 long rifle than nothing. But yeah, you're gonna fuck up if you're trying to intimidate Wolverine. I don't think you're going to. I think you could have a walking tall stick, JJ. I mean, a big honker, 6 foot long. Swing that thing like a baseball club, hit him in the head, and I think you're just gonna piss him off. Is what I think. You better be quick and hit him multiple times and get it in the right spot. Or you're gonna find him retreat and then reattack. But I don't know. I don't have any firsthand knowledge of Wolverines. I just know what I've read and what I've seen on videos. And I know they're mean sons of bitches. I don't know if they're actually vindictive, but watching them and honey badgers, it sure seems like they are. Just saying. All right, it's 2 hours. I gotta go, guys. Son of a bitch. You see, you guys get me talking. Once you guys get me talking, then I start talking. God damn it. I could probably go for another hour yet, but my wife will be home in another hour. So I got to go and get something done. So I will see you guys later. Peace out, man.